Alright, good morning guys. It is 3 AM. I am at the Batur Volcano guest house and I'm about to climb Mount Batur. Elisa and the boys are still sleeping, so I'm doing this on my own today. It's very dark right now, so I'm not sure if you can even see me right now. I've been told it's about 2 hours to trek to the top and we're going to watch the sunrise and then we're going to head back down. Actually we'll have some breakfast as well. So that's the plan, guys. After a cup of coffee, I was on my way with my guide Mate and his dog. We left at about 3:15 and stopped just twice for a short rest along the way up. There weren't really that many people on the track at this time of the morning and we only came across 2 other groups during our hike. We were the first people to arrive at the top at 4:45. Alright guys, I'm out to the top. It's very dark, you can't see me. What I'll do is I'll tell you a bit more about the hike when the sun comes up. This is where my guide Mate is going to cook breakfast. If you didn't know, Mount Batur is an active volcano. Guides use the steam coming from the vents around the inner part of the crater rim to cook breakfast. The leaves on top? Yeah. Keep it hot? Yeah. And how long does it take to cook?
Maybe 5 minutes, 15 minutes. 15 minutes? Yeah.
I had enough time to enjoy my breakfast just before the sun started to show at around 5:30. The view across Lake Batur was spectacular with the imposing Mount Abung almost perfectly eclipsing Mount Agung. I was very fortunate to have mostly clear skies and had views all the way out to Mount Rinjani on Lombok, which you can see on the left of this shot. After the sunrise, it was time for me to get a quick drone flight in before we headed around the crater rim. While walking the crater rim, I really appreciated how amazing this place was. In the distance you could see the distinct rises in the terrain. I realised that Mount Batur was a kind of volcano inside a volcano, as these rises in the terrain are in fact remains of the edge of 2 massive calderas. Calderas are formed when the structural support for the magma chamber of a volcano is lost. This causes the ground surface to collapse, leaving a massive depression at the surface. So this meant Mount Batur had 2 separate and major caldera forming eruptions. The inner caldera is 7 kilometers wide and the outer caldera is 13 kilometers wide. I had this strange feeling come over me. Despite being on the mountain and having these expansive views, in a way I felt dwarfed knowing how supermassive the original volcano must have been 30,000 years ago. So all the lava?
Yeah, this is black lava.
How long ago was that eruption?
Eruption is last time is 1963.
1963, yeah, okay, not too long ago.
1972,
okay.
74, yeah, until 2000.
Okay, 2000.
2000 only smoke.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it was down there is a village Batur.
Okay, so got village. Wiped out?
Yeah. And then it's shape for the mountain. Now this is village can stay in up there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was the village this one.
Yeah. So they moved.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then go up.
So the lava, does it come out pretty slow?
Yeah.
Yeah. So people had enough time to get out the way,
yeah.
And no one died.
No, it's not low out.
Yeah. Okay. trek around the crater rim was slightly challenging, not because of the width of the path, but because of how slippery the track was at some of the steeper parts of the descent.
Slowly. Yeah. Be careful. Yep, I'm alright.
After a few slips and slides, I safely made my way around the rim to the viewing point of the main crater. Here there are a few signs explaining how Mount Batur was formed, and also details of the most recent eruptions and when particular lava fields were formed. Okay guys, so we're on our way around the crater now, and we've just stopped at the middle. We've got this great view of the crater. Quite amazing. Now this is probably one of the best things that I've done in this trip. It's just been spectacular. We love nature, and just seeing the landscapes has just been spectacular. Now I just want to quickly talk about if you should do this with kids or not, because you know we're about traveling with kids. So now just to let you know, I went up the mountain holding or carrying my bag with my camera gear, my drone. That weighs about 10 kilograms. So I think you could carry the kids up if you wanted to. I would recommend putting them on your back. You really need to be able to see your feet, especially at night time. You could probably even do it during the day, just so you definitely see it a bit better. It is a bit dangerous, you have to be very careful, but I think it could be done. Now, that also depends on your fitness. You know, I like to consider myself a pretty fit person, so just take that into consideration if you're going to carry little boys or girls up, okay? Coming down this side over here, it was very sandy, it was very slippery. I slipped over once, so it's a bit dangerous. I wouldn't do that with kids. If you have older kids, maybe teenagers that are pretty fit, I would say you could do it. But if you're carrying kids, don't do it. Also, just on the way up, there was a lot of rain yesterday, so you could see a fair bit of erosion, and a lot of the path had, I guess, a channel going through the middle of it, and you're kind of walking over the sides of that little channel. And also some motorbikes had rode up the mountain, which had caused more erosion, so that's just another thing to consider. Today's a beautiful day, no rain at all, we're very lucky. Often the rain does come in the afternoon here, so it's a good idea to do it in the morning. So if you are starting in the middle of the day, there is that chance you're going to get rained on. It's going to go back to my guide, and we're going to keep heading down the mountain. Got some crazy guy calling out behind me. From here, we made our descent down the volcano. Made stopped to show me some of the key points we passed on the way up in darkness. So guys, this is the path that we took up the mountain this morning. Yeah. This is where it gets a little bit steep and gets quite tricky. This is one of the places we stopped at this morning, just to have a bit of a break. This is what I think people call the halfway point, and here's the view. You also get a good view of the black lava field from here. Just walk over this way a little bit. The walk down was certainly much quicker than the hike up and took less than 1 hour. Yeah. It's slippery, guys. Because of the rain, guys, the gravel's very loose, which makes it very dangerous, so you've got to be very careful. Whoa. Didn't make it. Yeah. So guys, we've got a couple of bikes here. Made told me that the guys that bring up the water and the food for breakfast up there, they try to bring it up on the bike as much as they can. Bit of a shame because they're causing all this erosion. If you have a look. And particularly when it's wet, you know, that's going to be really difficult to ride a motorcycle up. Yeah. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. Guys, on the way here we walk past this temple in the middle of the night, and here it is. What's the name of this temple again?
This is a Payogan temple.
Payogan.
Yeah. Payogan, like in Bali, meditation.
Now, a question you might be wondering is it necessary to get a guide when trekking Mount Batur? Here's what I had to say after I finished the hike. Now, the other thing I see online, people asking when I was researching Mount Batur is, should you get a guide? And I've had some people write on the comments in some of the forums that, no, you can go do it by yourself. I was talking to my guide about it on the way down. There is an organisation, and the government does recommend that you do get a guide. I don't know if he's just saying that, but he did mention there was a few stories of some tourists going up and falling off, I guess, the crater rim. Not just once, it's happened several times. So it is probably a good idea to get a guide just for your safety. It's not that much, guys. I paid $450, and that was to do the crater rim as well, which was a little bit more. I could have got it just to go straight up to the sunrise point, which is 400,000 rupiah, which is about 40 Australian dollars. It's not that much. Made has been with me probably 5 or 6 hours now. So when you think about it that way, it's pretty cheap. He doesn't even get that much. We're talking about his wage a bit earlier, and he maybe gets $150 per month from doing these treks. So they don't make a lot of money. So if you are doing these treks, you are supporting locals as well, which I think is a good thing. So do consider it. If you do come, organise a proper guide. We organised ours through the hotel. They contacted the association and organised our guide. We did that the night before, and that was at about 10 o'clock at night, and he showed up at our room at 3 a.m. to take me up Mount Batur. So it's that easy, guys. I'm going to wrap this vlog up here. I'm really glad I got to share that with you. It's one of the most amazing things that we've done in Bali. I'm sorry I couldn't share it with my family. They'll just have to watch the video. If you did like this video, guys, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you know when we get our next videos. This will be one of the last videos from our trip to Bali. Today we're going to head back to Seminyak. We've got 2 nights there, and we're going to then head back to Australia. Okay, so we'll still have a couple more vlogs from our trip here, so look out for those. And we'll see you on the next one, guys.